So this loss then is experienced by everybody except for certain people. So we don't want to experience that. We want to flourish. We want to be better. We want to enjoy the best of what this life has to offer. And the best of what this life has to offer is connection, is meaning, is perspective, is a sense of flourishing and progress and knowing where you've come from and where you're going, right? And so having something to live for, having something to die for. Like, that's what living is. That's what living is. And the start of that, the basis of that is belief. Belief is the basis. Illa alladhina amanu. Okay. Iman, faith, belief, seeking your security and your comfort and placing your trust essentially in Allah, okay, is the starting point. Belief is the basis. And as we have looked at some months ago, and as we will inshallah be looking at in more detail, like, there's a lot more to this idea of belief than simply I believe. It's not a recognition of God's existence. I mean, that's not what we're talking about here. It's something much deeper, right? To truly believe, to truly have faith. It's something that then permeates our whole attitude, every aspect of our lives. And then it becomes the basis for action, 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 because all the other 3 points here, after aman, or after those who believe, so doing good deeds, urging one another to the truth, urging one another to steadfastness, right? These 3 aspects. And this is famously like, it's after the first 2 verses, short verses, you got a short verse, then a, slightly longer, but still a short verse. And then you got this long one, and it's funny because when you do it with your kids and whatever, if you, when they're trying to memorize and, this is early on when the lungs haven't kind of expanded fully, they struggle with this one, right? To finish this last verse in one go. It's like a lot. So I'm just mentioning that because it's as if, there's a lot being mentioned, but most of what is mentioned is about action, about doing. What are we actually doing? So off the back of that belief, amilu salihat, right? We need to back that up with good deeds. Okay, the salihat, the righteous deeds, and the deeds which are mending, are rectifying. Often I've made this point. So the word saluha is to make something good, to make whole. It almost comes from the assumption or the starting point that there's a problem, right? And then you come with a solution. So what you've done is not just, it's problem solving. So therefore the believer is opportunistic in trying to solve problems, right? In trying to rectify things. They're very important, okay? So amilu salihat. So even our essential, the good deeds that we do, the basic sort of essential good deeds that we do, even acts of worship, right? Private worship, they're all mending things. They're making things whole. Because you see, like, prayer as an example is a good example in the sense that, it's sometimes we might not see it as fixing things, but it is. Like, you should appreciate it in this context, that actually without it, okay, you're in a deep state of loss. An aspect of that loss, okay, is to be disconnected from your Lord. Let me solve the problem of disconnection by connecting. Okay, let me solve the problem of someone else's difficulty by helping and supporting in some way. Whatever it is, right? It's coming with that problem-solving, opportunistic sort of attitude, which is the entire opposite, of course, of any selfishness or anything else.